What up, PokeNet? Thanks for coming and checking out this video. Today, we're going to be looking at the brand new Mega Darkrai EX. This thing looks so much fun. I love the mechanics of this deck. I'm hoping it's going to be competitive, right? We need some different decks to start showing up and being good in the TCG. So I'm hoping this is going to be one of them. So today, we're going to look at our first 60 we got put together for this deck. I'm hoping it's good. It is fun. So let's go see what we got going. If you haven't, go smash the like button. Please subscribe, and then jump in the comments and let me know what do you think of this video. So anyways, let's see what we think with Mega Darkrai EX out of the brand new Pitch Black from Pokemon TCG. So we got two of the Mega Darkrai EX. I'll throw it up here in English on screen. Its first attack, Dusk Raid, which requires 2 Dark Energy, does 110, but then it does another 110 if you have any damage on your bench Pokemon, which again, with Toxtricity, that should be pretty dang easy, right? That's kind of the goal here, is to get Toxtricity up, Energy Accelerate, and get damage going. So we should be fine. We should be able to make that work pretty easy. So getting to 220, not too hard. And then its second attack is where things get real fun, right? So its second attack for 3 Darkness Energy, and this is called Abyssai. It says if your opponent's Pokemon is affected by any special conditions, it's immediately knocked out. So that's part of what makes this fun, right? Is we're trying to find cards so we can poison, confuse our opponent's Pokemon, and find ways to take big time KOs. So that's why I think this deck is going to be so much fun, is mainly because of Abyssai for sure. So that's our main attacker. Because we're running a Mega as our main attacker, we're going to be using Mega Gengar to help kind of fix the math a little bit too. So Mega Gengar, with his ability, makes all of our dark Pokemon, when they get knocked out by damage from your opponent's attacks, they take 1 less prize card. So the hopes are, right, is we're able to find ways to keep in the prize race because of that. So, and his attack, Void Gale, isn't bad for 230, but certainly not why we want him in there. So again, we paired Mega Darkrai with Mega Gengar. Another card that's new in this set is the Chi-Yu, and man, I think the artwork looks beautiful on this card. In person, it looked way better than I expected, especially just as a rare. I think it looks pretty dang sweet. So anyways, so Chi-Yu's attack does 20 base damage, but does 90 more if he has 20 or more damage on him, which again, with Toxtricity, that's pretty dang easy to get to. So again, we're able to hit 110, and he should be a free prize. They're taking 0 prize if we have a Gengar with that Chi-Yu. So kind of an interesting thing to play with for sure. We only have 1 inclusion. Some people told me that maybe we'd run 2, but we're going to start with 1 and see where that goes. And then again, we're running a 2-2 line with Toxtricity. We need the energy acceleration and the damage, so that's a big thing for this deck. Then we're running the Munkidori, so we can move that damage across over to our opponent as well. And then the Yveltal, so we can clutch and keep things in the active of our opponent. Again, I think that's going to be pretty dang big. And then the Pecharunt EX, so we can move things around into our active. Along with, we are running Binding Mochi, so we do need it to help increase our damage that we're doing. And we'll talk about the math as we get going. So anyway, so this is what we have for our Pokemon for this deck. Let me go get the supporters out, and let's take a look at what we got for the supporters within this deck. All right, so this is what we got for our supporters. I mean, we're running 4 Lillie's Determination. I mean, it might be the best draw supporter Pokemon has ever made, right? I mean, she's pretty dang good for draw support, right? So we got 4 Lillie's Determination. We got 2 Get Over Here Boss's Orders. And then we got 2 Janine Secret Art, which I may change. We have 2 in here right now, but I think eventually we may go to 1. It kind of depends on how much we need to accelerate energy. We'll see how that goes within when we're playing. We have 1 Black Belt's training. Again, we need to increase our damage output at times, so Black Belt's training is one of the best ways to do that. And we'll look at the math here after a bit too, but so 1 Black Belt's training, 1 Judge for some hand disruption, and then 1 Lisia's Appeal. And I was super excited to put this in a deck. I like Lisia's Appeal. We think the mechanic of it is certainly pretty fun, but within this, it's even better, right? So Lisia's Appeal is switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon into the basic Pokemon into the active, and if you do that, it's now confused. So that's pretty dang big, right? We're going to be able to confuse it and then take the KO with Abyssai, and so that's something we're super excited for. A fun mechanic for sure, and something we're going to have fun playing around with. So the Lisia's Appeal, I think, is going to be interesting to see how it plays out in here. So that's what we got for supporters. Some things I've been thinking about is if we need to add another Black Belt's trainer and get rid of Lisia's Appeal. I've also just thought about, do we need to put in a Petrol? So that's probably where it would go. We'd probably take out Lisia's and put in a Petrol. We might need 2 Petrols. It's hard to know, right? We got to see how that goes. So we'll kind of play around with it a bit, but that's what we have now for the supporters. So let's jump into what we got for the rest of our trainer cards and see where we go from there. All right, so this is what we got for the rest of our trainer cards. We're running 2 of a lot of things, and so that's something that we'll kind of decide if we need to change. We're running 3 Ultra Ball, 2 Buddy-Buddy, and then we got 2 of the new Dark Bell. This thing, dang, going to help this deck out for sure, right? So Dark Bell, both active non-dark Pokemon are now confused. So again, this is making Abyssai work so much better. So we're running 2 Dark Bell. I've contemplated if we need 3 or not. I'm unsure. We'll kind of see how it plays out. But we've got 2 Dark Bell. Again, so the opponent, both Pokemon are confused. Both active Pokemon are now confused, except for dark Pokemon. So again, that's pretty much all our attackers. We don't have any psychic energy in here for Munkidori, so our only attackers are dark, so we should be fine. So that's what we're looking at with Dark Bell, and I think it's going to make this, again, a lot of fun. 2 Energy Switch. We have 2 Mega Signal, which I actually took out 1 Ultra Ball and 1 Poké Pad to put in the 2 Mega Signals. So that's something we may change as well. I'm unsure where we'll sit with that. I wanted Mega Signal mainly because we just don't have it in many decks right now. So that may go back to being an Ultra Ball and a Poké Pad. We'll kind of see how that plays out. 2 Night Stretcher, 2 Poké Pad, 2 Rare Candy, 1 Special Red Card. Then we got 2 Binding Mochi. Another card I think is going to be way bigger in the TCG moving forward is 2 Team Rocket's Watchtower. And for our ace spec, we chose Secret Box. So a couple of things that we've been looking at and we're kind of contemplating. One is, do we need to put in an enhanced hammer or 2 in case you run into a mist energy? So that's something that we may put in. I think we'll try to find some room and decide where to put it. I think Mega Signal is one that might get moved around for sure. But again, let's look at our math. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but so Darkrai's base attack is 110. If we have any damage on our bench, we're doing 220. If we have a Binding Mochi on and we're poisoned, which should be easy with Pecharunt, we're now sitting at 260. And if we play Black Belt's trainer, we're now hitting 300, right? So heck, now we're KOing Mega Kangaskhan's, any basic EX Pokemon with our first attack. And then because we're running Munkidori, if we can move 30 damage off of something, now we're hitting 330 And so that maths, right? Right now we're taking out Dragapults. We get a lot of big KOs. So the Binding Mochi, though, I think is going to be important, but we may have to see if we need both. We may go to one eventually. Kind of depends on how things work out. Then we have the Team Rocket's Watchtower, right? I think it's going to be huge, getting rid of Meowth, Kangaskhan's, the Dunsparce. I think right now that's pretty big in the TCG, so I think these are going to be important for sure. And then we went with Secret Box because I do think we need to increase some of our consistency, and so that's why we have Secret Box in there. So this is what we have currently for the trainer cards, but that's going to be, it's pretty viscous right now. We may change that and move some things around, but that's what we're looking at currently. So let's go take a look at some energies and talk about what we think we got going for the deck. All right, and then to finish the deck out, we got 9 Dark Energy. And again, we need a pretty decent amount because of Toxtricity. So we're running 9. I've debated if we need an energy recycler. We're just going to have to see how that goes. But so 9 basic Dark Energy. And that finishes out the 60 that we've got built. I think this is going to be pretty dang fun. Again, some of the things we've talked about is the Lisia's appeal looks pretty dang sweet within this. I think it's going to be pretty fun. Do we need Mega Signal? I think that's going to maybe come or go. I do think Dark Bell sitting at 2 is the right number. Can you change out Secret Box for Unfair Stamp or something like that? I think that's going to be up to you, but I think we need the consistency for sure. So, and then do we want Petrol 1 or 2? I think those are things we got to kind of play around with. So, again, if you made it this far, you got to go smash the like button. If you aren't, please go subscribe and let us know what you think of the channel. We're doing our best to put out good content, and the way we do that is if we get you guys involved and you got to let me know, give me some feedback on what you guys want to see. And then coming up this weekend, we're going to be playing this deck against some meta decks and see how well it can hold up. So we're super excited. I think this is going to be a fun deck. Something at least new in the TCG, which is what we need right now for sure. So anyways, we appreciate you guys so much. And as always, have a Poketastic day.